The Russian Civil War was an apocalyptic period of chaos and lawlessness. Nobody in the forming USSR, powerless or powerful, was safe. That's when an unknown Russian gangster could have, unknowingly, changed the course of the whole 20th century. The year is 1919. For 2 years, the former Russian Empire is torn apart by a civil war. From the plains of Ukraine to the shores of the Pacific Ocean, the whole country was ravaged by endless violence. However, cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg seemed to escape the chaos, although it was only in appearance. It was a cold January evening in Moscow. Yakov Kuznetsov, a seasoned gangster with no less than 10 convictions on his belt, was on a prowl. With his gang, he was looking for a car to steal. The car has to be suitable for the robbery the crime party was planning. As the criminals were standing on the side of a big avenue, a car, a nice one, slowed down and stopped right next to them. The gangsters couldn't believe their luck. The car, exactly like the kind they were looking for, was occupied by 4 people. There was a woman, accompanied by 3 men. One of them, bald and middle-aged, was apparently the owner of the car. At first surprised, then visibly annoyed, he started to talk back to the gangsters. Kuznetsov brushed off this man's name when the latter arrogantly introduced himself. After all, the gangster couldn't care less about this random information. He then ordered firmly all the passengers to get off the car. And seconds later, the carjackers drove away into the night. While driving, they found a gun inside the car. For sure, this could be useful if the robbery goes sideways. With the gun, the gang also found some documents inside the car. That's when they found out who their arrogant victim was. Having misheard his name, the owner of the car was no less than the man who led the Bolshevik Party and sparked the October Revolution, Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, more notoriously known as Lenin. We could only imagine the thoughts in Kuznetsov's mind at this moment, either thinking he had made the worst mistake of his life, or, as a veteran gangster, that he should have abducted Lenin for an extravagant amount of money. The fact we know for sure is, on his side, the new master of the Kremlin didn't let this embarrassment go unavenged. Lenin swiftly ordered all police services, including his infamous Cheka, to find Kuznetsov and his gang. Surprisingly, despite the ongoing civil war, the investigation was successful, and on July 26th of the same year, Kuznetsov finally met his fate. Found out during a police raid, the gangster resisted and was shot and killed during his arrest. On him, the police found the very gun he had robbed from Lenin's car. And as an ironic twist of fate, it was Lenin's very decision to open the Tsar's prison, thus setting free thousands of dangerous criminals, probably including his very own carjacker, Kuznetsov. Although way less brutal than the assassination attempt on Lenin by Fanny Kaplan in 1918, we couldn't help but shiver when thinking if this carjacking went wrong. If Lenin resisted a bit more, and if a member of the gang, more nervous than usual, pulled the trigger of his gun. As the undisputed leader of the Bolsheviks, the consequence of Lenin's death in the very middle of the Russian Civil War would be unfathomable. This event would have dramatically altered the course of the Russian Civil War, jeopardized the very existence of the USSR, and completely reshaped the world as we know it today. All of this because of an unknown Russian criminal history forgot. Thank you for watching this episode from this series on the USSR and Russia. More untold pages of history are on the way, so to not miss any, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. This, as you know, helps tremendously. This is Forgotten Fragment, and until next time for the next story.